everyone. This is Catherine Lee Bays. She wrote the document America the Beautiful, a patriotic poem that is now a well-known song. So tell me, as a college professor, how did the experiences you had teaching change your views on the country? And did you show any of your personal values in the poem?
As a college professor of English literature, my studies into the history, social sciences, and politics of our nation had a large impact on my personal values and published writings. Through my career, I was appointed to the Pi Gamma Mu Honor Society as a connoisseur of political sciences. During my time as a professor, I worked as a war correspondent toward the end of the Spanish-American War in an effort to reduce the negative stereotypes regarding our opposing Spanish forces. The lines of my poem, though some have changed across the different versions, have reflected my deep-seated values of indiscriminate freedom, universal peace, and selfless leadership. I spent much of my life advocating for my beliefs through literary works and speeches at Sheringham.
How did traveling the country allow you to appreciate America more or change your view on America?
My travels through America greatly influenced my view on the country and inspired me to write the poem in the first place. It was during my trip to Pikes Peak that I saw the great Rocky Mountains with its sea-like expanse of fertile country under those ample skies, that the opening lines of the hymn first came to me. Later, on our way home, we stopped at the World's Columbian Exposition. Here I saw the beauty and innovation in urban civilization in Chicago, then dubbed the White City, and the namesake for my life about Alabaster cities. Furthermore, as my poem grew in popularity, so did my appreciation for not only America but its citizens as well.
Did any major events, such as the Civil War, influence how you wrote the hymn?
Of course, the Civil War and Spanish-American War and the terrible economic crash of 1883 all had an influence on my poem through their influence on me. I advocated for worldwide peace and equality and considered myself a global citizen. As for the Civil War in particular, though it isn't directly referenced in the song, the poem's creation wouldn't be possible without it. Due to the Civil War, I was able to partake in the opportunities given to women that we previously did not have access to. Without it, it would have been considerably more difficult to get to where I was at the time the poem was written after a college lecture.
What made you want to turn your poem into something more widespread?
As many poems often do, my work didn't begin with the intent to be a nationally recognized ode to America, but rather to put my deep-seated appreciation for its beauty into art. However, as I finished the first adaptation of the poem, it felt only right to share it with the rest of America and put into words the emotions that our land of liberty invokes. I later revised my poem, twice actually, to allow composers to more easily put it to music so Americans could not only read it, but listen to the verses and feel the sentiments behind each stanza.
How did the natural scenery, such as Pikes Peak, which is the location of the infamous Purple Mountains, remind you of the core ideals that America is made up of?
The stark differences between the momentous natural scenery and the West and the bustling modern cities of the East are what make our country so great. Contrast, diversity. That's what makes us who we are as a nation and instills our purpose as a home for everyone seeking freedom.
What should people think about when they hear or they sing the song?
In its most basic intent, this poem is made for the people to relate to America and its beauty, complexities, and challenges, just as I do. We do not love America despite its challenges, but rather because of them. How could I write about the wonders without acknowledging its downsides? By what comparison could we then hold the good things, if not to have the bad as well? My wish was to spread my love for America in the politically divided times of the 1800s and to bring people closer together.
There has been some debate over whether this song should replace the current national anthem. Do you think this song should replace the Star Spangled Banner as our national anthem?
This is a difficult question to ask of any artist, especially on a large scale such as this. Do I think that it had the quality and potential to become a national anthem? Of course. I, like my creative peers, take pride in our work and would like to see it celebrated. However, I also believe that, with a timeless hymn such as the Star Spangled Banner, how could I claim to be better than when I speak against selflessness in my very own poem? No, I don't believe my poem should replace the current anthem we all love today.
What is your favorite line of the poem? Why, and what do you think it means?
Of all the versions and lines, it's difficult to pick a favorite line, and as each one is constructed to complement the others, and, in turn, would hardly be as impactful or meaningful on its own. However, if I truly had to pick one line, I do have a special appreciation for the verse, "Oh beautiful for a patriot dream that sees beyond the years." These lines reflect the timeless and ever-present values that America has built itself on for years and will continue to for, as we hope, many, many more. However, my special connection with this verse lies in what I believe is even more essential than our decorated history and flourishing present, and that is the future. It is the future America that this line celebrates and puts its hopes in, and in this line that we recognize what we are doing this for, why we strive for innovation, why we conserve the natural scenery, and why we fight so persistently for freedom. The change we struggle for today is for the Americans of the future.
How does this document fit into the promise of liberty?
This is partially why I'm so fond of the particular line we've discussed before. America the Beautiful is an ode to how truly brilliant America is in its construction and values. It is through this line in particular that we address how America of the past, its creation and intent is solely around the protection and preservation of liberty for Americans indefinitely. My poem is not to protect liberty, as so many of the other works describe, but rather to celebrate it and remind Americans of how good we have it. I take great pride in my poem and how my poem has affected the masses and continues to be relevant today, and to even be put into an exhibit among so many ingenious works is an honor I cannot begin to describe my thankfulness for.
If you could rewrite a line or two of the poem to address modern-day challenges to liberty, what changes would you make?
I can't say I'd choose to completely alter any line, though there could be lines added in addition to old ones to better address the struggles we see today. Perhaps more stress on humility and altruism among our leaders and representatives, or encouraging a united front rather than the division we see today. As I mentioned before, this poem is intended to uplift Americans and improve morale in trying times, which unfortunately is very applicable today. My hope is that we can see past the disputes and division and recognize America for its resilience and beauty.
Thank you for your time, and give it up for Catherine Lee Bates.